Well, here we are again. Curt and Jen, the podcast, the videocast. Thank you for being here and joining us on what today is Thursday.
It's Friday Eve, if you will.
God, you scared me there for a second. When you said it's Friday, I was like, it's Friday? Oh, Friday Eve. You love that. Hey, thanks for joining us. We got to get right to it because of how much stuff we have to talk to you about today. But once again, as always, we'd love it if you would follow, if you would like, if you would subscribe. Those would all be great for us.
Yes, they would. And we have, as always, an action-packed show full of all the things that you need to know today as we, live the day before Friday's day. Here we go. Random things everyone experiences but never talks about. This is a brilliant list. I love it.
You like this next one that we have two bathroom-related stories?
Oh, I didn't even see those. Okay, why are we going to the gym? Why are we really going to the gym to work out? The best cities to celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
Our question of the day from yesterday was, you share the foods that you won't share. We'll get to that along with a classic 80s movie that is getting a reboot. I'm sorry, a sequel. All that stuff coming up here today.
But first, Curt, you went to the Kraken game.
Yeah, it was actually, people were like, oh, it was a great game. Well, it was a great game because there was a big comeback and finally a win by the Kraken, which was great. But to me, it's like, well, why did they get themselves in a 4-2 deficit to start with? However, all is well that ends well. Playing the Montreal Canadiens, clever name. But there was you would have loved this moment, by the way. There was a new player. His name is Yanni Newman. Which you wouldn't know because his last name is spelled N-Y-M-A-N, Newman. I think he's from Finland. Anyway, first game of his NHL career, just a 20-year-old kid, his very first NHL game. His parents are there.
Oh.
And he got a goal and altered the game. And they cut to the parents and the mom and dad they got tears and they're just high-fiving everybody. It was a super cool moment there for the old Kraken. So watch for that guy, Yanni Newman. He's going to be something.
Okay. Hey, I want to know. I mean, that's nice that you went to the game and talked about it and all, but really, what did you eat? That's the most important thing.
I actually got a very classic, high quality, nutritious meal called, I think, chicken fingers and fries.
Okay.
And Dana got some pork, rolls, egg rolls.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah.
She found the really good stuff. I was just going for, regular old bar food, I guess.
Classic.
Now, what have you got to report on the Party Pilot, your vehicle, which 300,000 miles on it, or 250?
292,570.
Wow. And okay, what's going on with the Party Pilot?
Why I know to the exactness.
Why do you know almost to the exactness?
Because I put the Party Pilot up for sale.
Ooh.
It's time. I need something, different.
Yeah, I can see that.
Rest in peace, Party Pilot.
You can't.
I don't even want to say rest in peace. Like, it has a new transmission in it. Like, Pat has done so much to it. It's just time for me to have a new car. I mean, I've had it since I'm the original owner, and it still has some party left in it. That's for sure.
The Party Pilot still has some party left in it. Okay.
There you go.
So if people want to purchase the Party Pilot, you've got it posted where?
You got to find it on OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace.
Is it listed as a Party Pilot?
No, but I should.
Party Pilot. All right, quickly, if you're concerned about Kelly Clarkson, and clearly a lot of people are because she's not been on her Kelly Clarkson show for, since March 5th. So, that's not a super long time, but there's been no word from her people as to where exactly Kelly Clarkson is. There's been fill-in hosts, including Roy Wood Jr., Wanda Sykes have been filling in. Obviously, people are wondering where Kelly is, and sources with direct knowledge of the situation say Kelly is fine. She's just been dealing with a personal matter that, quote, does not directly involve her, and apparently she'll be back on the show today, and we'll find out if she addresses the personal matter that does not directly involve her. Were you concerned about Kelly Clarkson?
I was not. I'm still not after that.
Now you have no reason to be, because she is just fine.
I'm glad she's okay, for sure. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
This is a fun one.
This is random things everyone experiences but never talks about. But we do. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah, there's a few on here that in particular impact me, I guess, because they do seem to happen a lot. But
well, tell me those ones.
The one that well, this is mostly my wife, Dana. It was the last one we had in the list here. When you and again, these are random things that we all experience, but really it never comes up. When you stare at a bad driver as you drive past them to see what they look like and see if they look as dumb as they drive.
Oh, I do that all the time.
You know what? And I'll even, so the person will do something, mildly
stupid,
moronic, right? And it's like, is it physically possible to drive past them without doing, hey, and looking over? And I say that it is not.
Who are you that are like, do you know your dumbness that you, and I hate using those kind of words. I really do. But driving I can't even help myself.
And then you say as you go past, oh, figures, it's a 19-year-old kid or something to justify it in your head.
I got flipped off yesterday driving home from Pat's house. Someone flipped me off.
Well, you deserve to be flipped off sometimes.
Oh my God, I was so ticked that they flipped me off. I'm like, what did I do to you? I didn't even do anything.
Maybe they're just practicing their fingering. I don't know.
Oh my
More
God.
random things everybody experiences. I'd like the one that you said, the first one in here. If you're in the back seat of a car and that car makes a sharp turn, you push your fingers into the seat in front of you to keep yourself from falling over.
Yeah. I mean, I've done most of these. This is the thing that I experience a lot. When you're lying in bed and you have to pee, but you're too tired to get out of bed to go to the bathroom, but your bladder's too full to fall asleep.
That happens, like most of these happens to everybody. And let me ask the question about this. Whenever that happens, and all the times that happens, you're too tired to get out of bed to go pee, but your bladder is full. Do you ever not eventually get up and pee?
I mean, if I can get back to sleep, I'm really try hard to go back to sleep. First, I fight it. And then I'm like, oh.
Exactly. So my point is, for me, I'm just like, you know what? I may as well just get up now. I'm going to lay here for 5 more minutes and then have to get up anyway.
Like, why?
All right.
Why does that happen? Okay, when you decide you don't need to make a grocery list or a list for the grocery run, but you get there and then you forget what you needed. I do that. Like, I don't go. It is rare that I go without a list because I know that I'm going to forget.
I generally can remember everything except one thing, and it's usually the most important thing that I went there for. So I'll come home. I mean, I just did that the other time. I told you a couple of shows ago. Went to Dana's like, go get me some NyQuil. So I go to the store and I get all this stuff and I come home. Oh, no NyQuil. Sorry. Here's another thing that nobody ever talks about that happens to all of us when you briefly talk to someone at a party back in 2009 and you've been Facebook friends ever since.
And then you wonder, then they like something or comment on something. You're like,
who the hell is this?
Let me go to their profile and go to their about info and see if I can jog my memory.
And it doesn't often work that way. How about when you're at a campfire and you're trying to avoid, the smoke blowing on your clothes and stuff, so you get the perfect spot and then the wind changes and the smoke keeps zeroing in on you.
Yeah. When you walk into a room but forget what you went in there to do. God, this happens to me all the time. You just stand there frozen, like the video's buffering.
Your body, your brain is buffering.
And when you swallow water weird, it creates that bad chest pain for a few minutes. Do you ever do that?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's because you also swallowed some air or something, but you're like, oh, that hurts. How about when you're calling somebody and you hope that they don't pick up just so the missed call can show up and it looks like you made the attempt and reached out. Sometimes I'll just give it like one and a half rings and click. It's like, okay, I made an effort.
Oh,
Never with you, Jen Pirak.
I know there's more of them. That's the thing. I'm trying to think of more, but that's a hard one. We were going to use that as the question of the day, but we're like, this is kind of hard. We can't even think of our own.
Yeah, and we have a fun question of the day as well. So
yeah,
that'll be coming up here before too long.
You better work.
All right. Working out.
I thought you were going to say, I work out. I work out.
I would have done I work out. That's that LMFAO song. What is it called? I'm sexy and I know it.
Sexy and I know it.
However, this is about working out. It turns out Well, let's give the actual reason. There's a lot of reasons why people do not go to the gym.
This is from the land of duh, in my opinion.
Okay. The reason people don't go to the gym, it's too expensive, it's not fun, they don't have the time. But there's one main reason to go. What's that?
It's not, well, I mean, it is to get healthier, but people's main reason is because they want to look better.
I want to look good naked.
I want to be sexy and I know it.
So about a quarter of people say their number one reason people work out is to improve their physical appearance. And that seems like another like, well, duh. But you should also be working out because regardless of how it makes you look, it should make you feel better, and certainly you'll be healthier on your insides and your outsides as well. So that's but it turns out, you know what, the main reason we're here is to
Try to look better.
right? About 2 in 10 want to improve their physical health, like we just said, and another 20% are trying to boost their mental health by working out.
Okay. Well, I'm sexy and I know it.
You just stuck on that one. That's a funny song too, I have to admit.
This next one, it's child talk for a hot second on the Curt and Jen podcast.
Well, you could also say that this is medical advice and/or for your health.
It's reasons to never hold in passing gas, I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm. Notice I didn't have any sound effect or music for this one, Jen.
I'm surprised and disappointed.
Disappointed? If I would have got into that with a big old... Well, there it is.
Okay, and by the way, Curt sends me fart videos. I'm sorry, I got to say the word fart videos all the time. He sends them to me, and I'm going to tell you why he sends them to me. Because he knows that I hate them, but more importantly, that I still laugh at them, and I get so mad at myself about it. I'm like, I am so mad I'm laughing. I had tears rolling down my face, by the way, on the last one you sent me yesterday.
Meanwhile, you're cursing my name. Well, it's just those ones where I guess these people, there's a million videos on the social network or social media where they've got this little handheld thing that they squeeze it and it just goes. So it's people in grocery stores, in Walmart, or walking outside, just walking by people and making that noise. And yes, I know. I didn't know it made you mad. I just thought it made you laugh.
No, it makes me mad. Well, I don't love them, but I end up laughing at them, and I get mad at myself for laughing at them. I'm not mad at you. And Pat was laughing too. He was dying, of course. I feel like it's definitely, well, it doesn't matter.
Well, real quick, the one I sent you yesterday, these people, this guy or whatever that has this little fart noise generator in his hand. Not only was he like standing next to people in various locations and but he was also making eye contact with the people around him and just holding that eye contact, which is double creepy and also funny, I think. All right, so here we go. Back to the story. 6 reasons to never hold in a fart. Why do you just want to let it fly, Jen?
Well, the first thing is mouth gas. When you hold it in, gas can reabsorb into your bloodstream, causing you to breathe it out. It's odorless, but still gross.
I've never heard of that.
Me either.
Mouth gas?
Bloating, of course. The buildup of gas can make your stomach balloon and feel unpleasant.
Totally. Cramping could be something that happens. Holding it in too long causes that gut inflammation, could lead to cramping, indigestion as well. If you have too much gas, can cause issues in your upper stomach.
Yeah, and also heartburn. I mean, that indigestion can lead to it's bad. And finally, diverticulitis, when the air pockets form in your digestive tract and cause inflammation. It's painful.
Okay. Would you like me to have a toot noise ready to go now?
Yes.
Well, I don't.
Okay, well, the moral of the story is let them fly. Just pass the gas.
And as promised at the beginning of the show, we have 2 bathroom-related, stories, bodily function-related stories.
What's this next one all about? I saw the headline, but I didn't end up reading it.
Well, apparently, and this actually happens here as well. Maybe, I don't know about your place, but since when we were doing the morning show, we would wake up way, way, way earlier than our partners. And in my case, Dana, my wife. So often I would just sleep in the guest room because I didn't want to disturb her at 3:30 in the morning, So,
right.
And some people would say, oh, that's you got to sleep in the same room. That's a bad thing. I disagree. However, this story is called, they call that what we just described. They, I guess, refer to that as a sleep divorce. Where one person sleeps in one room, one person sleeps in the other. I think it's more common than people would admit, just having your own dedicated places to sleep. Well, now they have something called a bathroom divorce.
What?
And we're going to talk about Debbie. Her name is Debbie Weiner. They're from Maryland,
Of course, it's
And
Debbie Weiner.
the bathroom divorce is where they opt to have separate bathrooms from each other. And she is quoted here as saying, as you get older, your gastrointestinal needs change. Eh. My husband's habits didn't age well. One toilet was not cutting it. She hated her bathroom ever since she and her husband Jim bought their house in 2011. I guess the bathroom was a primary bathroom and it was connected to the primary bedroom. So if you wanted to get to the bedroom, they had to walk through the bathroom. And I guess sometimes if you're sitting on the toilet, somebody just goes zip and walk by. All right.
That's weird.
That is not great. So she got fed up and she decided to solve the commode crisis and create a spouse-saving bathroom suite with two of everything. She has his or hers, and he has his toilets
Toilets and sinks?
in their own little room. Yeah.
She is
So
an interior,
now,
she's a retired interior designer, so she can do these kind of things.
well, I like this quote here. She says, now her bathroom is the envy of everyone she knows. All my neighbors lined up to see my bathroom. Every time I tell a woman about my bathroom, she is like, oh my God, I want that.
I mean, there is something to be said about having your own toilet, your designated throne.
What it does avoid, excuse me, it does avoid having to wait, you know, or typically, well, maybe that was the only bathroom in their house as
That's what
well,
I
which is
don't get because, yeah, I mean, having a couple bathrooms, especially it says in that story she had two teenage sons in the house at the same time with only that one bathroom. That
yeah,
makes no
that's
sense.
no bueno on that one. But would you do that? Would you want to have your own little space?
I mean,
Because
I
you guys
wouldn't
are building
mind
a
it.
house.
I wouldn't mind it, I guess, but I don't need it. I mean, I wouldn't hate it.
Would you invite all your friends over to see it?
Certainly. Yeah, you know I like a party. It could be a party.
Sure.
What I learned from asking this question about the people that listen to the show, they don't like sharing certain foods.
This is true. And that was our question of the day from yesterday. Lots of people participated and shared their stories and their ideas. What food do you refuse to, I'm sorry, what food do you refuse to share?
Do you
I
have
don't know that I
one?
have any that I would, would, and of course it's just me. We don't have any kids. So it would be, but if Dana wants to try, actually, I don't really have any say because she will just take a bite or whatever.
I will too.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Back into the old morning show days. Like, "Here, let me try that, chomp."
Okay, so you don't have any foods that are like that? Like that you love so much that you really would prefer not to share?
No, I don't think so. I guess I'm just a nicer person than you.
Perhaps, but not likely. Okay.
Okay. What's yours? Do you have one?
Yeah, I told you. And it's Miriam. Miriam put this on the list too. There's a restaurant called Tobless that's
Oh, yes.
in Mill Creek Town Center, and they have these bacon wrap dates. And they're not just any bacon wrap dates because I've tried others and none are like this. And I will not like we will sit at a table and we're all sharing appetizers. And I will say before we order, I will be ordering my own order of bacon wrap dates that I will not be sharing. And I just want to make that clear. It's not because I don't like you all. We will just get extra orders. I will pay for my own.
Which, by the way, is unusual because I have noticed when we go out, if we go out as a group, you and Pat, myself and Dana, whatever, you typically will say, okay, let's all order stuff that we can share.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I want this.
Because then you get to taste more of the menu. And
I'm aware of that.
Okay. Anyway, okay. So
all right.
Susie said dark chocolate Mount Rainiers. I hide them from everyone. Mine, mine, mine. Mine, mine, mine.
Jenny says the food she refuses to share, mozzarella sticks. That might be one for me too. They're all for me. And then Anne, fresh Dungeness crab.
There's no sharing with her on the fresh Dungeness crab. There's another story down below I read that we'll get to.
Okay.
Phil said scotch. He's not sharing his scotch, but then Randy, we all know Randy, and he loves scotch. He said, and I love his answer. He said, it tastes better when it is shared, unless it comes in a plastic jug.
I didn't know you could get scotch in a plastic jug. That's probably the same as the wine in a box, right? Sonia will refuse to share a s'more. I worked hard to get that marshmallow nice and golden. No Sharon.
I would agree with her on that, because if you're making the perfect s'more, you'd have to spend a lot of time on that marshmallow. Agreed,
The
Sonia.
perfect s'more.
Marilyn said homemade chicken cacciatore. And
Ooh.
Janelle also said, like Ann did, is crab. And her funny story is, years ago, she was eating her crab and her lovely sister started to move her fork to have some of hers, and that's the thing with crab, right? You spend so much time deshelling it and you wait to eat the pile of it. And if someone wants it, it's like, no way, you crack your own. But
You
she was
know
like,
what?
she forked her sister in the hand.
Well, and that brings up something else too. If you had to do that much effort, I would say yes. I'm not going to share this. I just spent X amount of time deshelling this. Hands off. Randy also said make your own pizza. I think he's referring back to a story where he tried to have an entire make your own pizza also
Well, he thought
himself.
that he was making his perfect pizza just for him, only to find out that there wasn't enough pizza for everyone to have their own individual, and he was going to have to share it, and he was not happy about it.
Back to the foods that you refuse to share. Laurel says my wine. I'm not a fan of somebody sipping wine out of my glass. Franz Caramels says, I'm sorry, caramels, whatever you want to say. Becky says, Franz caramels with dark chocolate and sea salt. Those are incredible.
That's probably one of my favorite candies. And she said she has a great hiding place for them. Becky also makes homemade caramels that I don't like to share when she gives them out.
So she shares them with you and then you refuse to share.
That's right.
Leslie says a really good steak. Agreed. Carrie, certain family recipes. They have apparently in Carrie's family a chili and bean dip that she refuses to share.
Is it chili and bean dip, or is it chili and bean dip? Like she has a chili recipe.
Oh, I
She has a
see.
bean dip recipe. I think that's
Got
what
it.
it is. We already mentioned Miriam with the bacon wrap dates from Toblist, and then Lane said corned beef.
He's not sharing his corned beef. Lane is not. So things that she refused to share, that is actually still up there if you are interested in adding to that list. But
On
you know what,
Facebook.
it did sort of change my mind when I saw the mozzarella sticks. I'm thinking maybe that might be one for me.
There you go.
Mozzarella sticks. All right.
Oh, Kurt Cruz. I like it.
We always have to be cautious, just so people know. You can't, on your podcast, just play any old music you want to because people want to get paid.
Yeah.
So every now and again, the most innocent thing we'll think, like the other day we played that commercial, that new commercial for with Jelly Roll in it, right? No, it was the Partridge Family theme.
Yeah, you played the Partridge Family theme as an in-between our bit thing that was themed with something we were talking about, and
It not only gets flagged,
yes.
but they also drop that story. It's just muted out. So hopefully Super Mario music won't do that. For this story, it's just a quick deal. I did not know that there was somebody trying to set this world record, but a gamer set a brand new Super Mario Brothers world record. This is the original Super Marios that you used to play in the 80s or 90s, whenever it was, at the arcade. This guy's name is Nefitsky. He broke a world record. He beat the original Super Mario Brother in just over 4 minutes and 54 seconds. The reason I brought this up was that seems like kind of a long time. I don't play Mario Brothers. I thought it was going to be, he broke the record. He did the original Super Mario Brothers in 32 seconds.
I was thinking the same thing, but yeah.
4 minutes and 54 seconds is a new record. Guinness just made that official. He beat the old record by less than 1/10 of a second.
Yeah, it's hard to beat the record and that's why he did it with just like a 1/10 of a second, because
I guess congratulations are in order. Everybody has to have a goal in life, and his was to have the Super Mario Brothers record. So congratulations. What's his name? Nefitsky. Congrats on that one, buddy.
Oh my God. Kurt, I don't know if you watched the video that went with this story. I did.
I did not.
It's terrible. And I know why it can be confused. This can be confused because my daughter uses nail glue because she likes to use those fake nails. And it looks just like an eye drop thing. And it's you use it just like an eye drop thing. So here's the story. This woman in the middle of the night went to grab her eye drops, her antibiotic eye drops, because she had an eye infection or something going on. And she accidentally grabbed her nail glue drops. and put them in her eye, and it shows her in the hospital with like this thing connected to her eye that's like rinsing it out.
Wow. And you
Uh,
see, you actually just you made this better for me because I was thinking, what a dummy, you know? I mean, how do you do this? But if you're fumbling around in the middle of the night looking for eye drops, you could
yeah.
easily make that mistake.
I was trying to find it before we got on and recorded this episode so I could show you.
Super
It is.
glue. They
It
say
looks
it's like
just
super
like
glue
it.
for your nails. This
Yeah.
nail glue, right?
Yeah. And apparently she's
So,
not the first person to get bottles mixed up.
mhm.
Their healthcare workers are saying this is becoming a real issue, and they're seeing more and more. I mean, this stuff too is like freaking super glue.
Hmm.
And so
What
putting it in your eye and they have to get the chunks out of the eye. I mean, it's just terrible.
I thought the story was going to be along the lines of when kids were eating those Tide Pods or whatever, and I thought, so this is a grown ass adult accidentally gluing their eyes shut. That sounded like it was, what a dorky thing to do, but it turns out
Oh,
that it's kind of legit.
yeah. I'm going to share this story with Macy and Riley and just say, please be extra careful if you ever need to have eye drops. Keep them very separate.
And do not try this at home. There is actually here at the end, if you ever do put the wrong thing in your eyes, get to a sink as fast as possible, wash your eyes out, or if it's too
Oh,
late, go to the ER. I know it's cringy just thinking about it,
yeah.
okay? Guess what's happening on Monday?
St. Patrick's Day.
That's
I'm
true.
excited for it.
Those of you who are listening to this and not witnessing Jen doing this dance, is that
Jig.
supposed to be
I'm
like
doing a little jig.
that is a jig, I guess. All right. How about a roundup for St. Patty's Day? I'm sure we're going to have some great stories on Monday for St. Patrick's Day, but what we have here, a couple things to pass along to you. First of all, according to Wallet Hub, we have the best cities to celebrate your St. Patrick's celebration.
Kurt, were you surprised by this list? I was surprised by it.
I was surprised by what ended up being like at the bottom of the list, but yeah, let's go with the 10 best cities for St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
Uh, we've got Worcester, Massachusetts. These are the top five. Worcester, Massachusetts, followed by Santa Rosa, California. Savannah, Georgia. Number two is Reno, Nevada. The number one, this does make sense. The number one city for St. Patrick's Day is Boston.
Boston does not surprise me. It was the other ones actually that surprised me. Every one of them on this list surprised
Hmm.
me. Chicago
Chicago is
used to be
also on there. New York is on there. Henderson, Nevada, just outside of Vegas. Buffalo, New York made the top 10, and Pittsburgh, as far as your St. Patrick's Day celebrations. Of the 200 cities they looked at, Patterson, New Jersey ranked last. Second to last was Miramar, Florida. Third to last of this, so that would be number 197, the 197th worst, I guess, city to celebrate St. Patrick's Day at Bellevue, Washington. That's pretty specific. I wonder if Seattle was on there somewhere as well. It had to be.
It had to be. That is crazy.
Poor Bellevue. Hmm.
Wonder why. I wonder what makes it bad versus good.
Exactly. Huh. Well, I know that I thought it'd be Chicago because they dye the river green. That seemed like that would be a pretty big deal, but it turns out number one is Boston if you want to
Well,
go there. Now, what's this other
what?
thing you
Hold on.
found?
Chicago was number 2 last year, by the way. So
Oh,
you're
okay.
onto something there, but they fell to number 6. Okay. Yeah. And other St. Patty's Day news, Panera Bread is selling green bread bowls in select locations over the weekend, and inside the green is filled with mac and cheese. It's green mac
Lovely.
and cheese.
But people are saying the problem is they're calling this their pot of gold, which makes sense. The issue is that
People say it
it
looks
looks
like
like a
mold.
pot of mold.
Oh, come on, people.
Well, I'm not gonna if I'm looking at mac and cheese that's kind of greenish. I mean, anything you look at and you're like, oh, there's a sandwich. It's got some green stuff on it.
I was excited about this actually, Kurt, and I was going to go get some, hoping that it was in our neighborhood, but it is not.
Mhm.
It is not in our neighborhood. It's only in New York, Boston, Chicago, and St. Louis.
Hmm. I'm going to look that up and take a peek at what it looks like to see if I would also think it looks like a pot of mold.
They're also doing a pot of gold sweepstakes where you can win free mac and cheese for a year. I'm going to tell Macy to enter that.
Ooh.
You have to text. You text the word lucky to the number 31261 between. Oh, you have to wait till March 26th or 16th. Between March 16th and March 21st, you do that. Don't do it now.
Don't do it now. I don't have music here. Are you ready?
Yeah.
The numbers all go to 11. Look, right across the board. 11, 11,
and most of
11,
the
and then
amps go up to 10.
Exactly.
Does that mean it's louder? Is it any louder?
Well, it's one louder, isn't it? One louder.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
Classic scene
I've
from
never seen that movie.
Spinal Tap. That's where he's describing how their amps are louder because they go the knobs all go to 11, and he's like, well, just make 10 louder and make the top number 10. This Spinal Tap. This is Spinal Tap was the original movie. The sequel is finally almost here. I am a big fan of not just Spinal Tap from 1984, but there are they started calling these mockumentaries. So a lot of those Christopher Guest stories like Best in Show, Waiting for Guffman, things like that, those movies.
This is why I have
Mighty
not seen
Wind
it.
were all sort of done in this way. Anyway, as a fan of the show, I'll let you know that they have a sequel to Spinal Tap called Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues, bringing back Rob Reiner, Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, and Harry Shearer. And that will be in theaters on September 12th.
That's my birthday.
That's your birthday? I mean, yeah, I know that's your birthday, September 12th. So if you can wait that long.
I'm impressed with the cameos that are going to be in it. Elton John, Paul McCartney, Garth Brooks, and Trisha Yearwood are going to make little guest appearances.
Well, I mean, it's a bit of a cult classic, but I think the Spinal Tap is. But I think enough people know it by now that I'm excited about this. I'm looking forward to it. Although, with bated breath, because you never know. Is it going to be like Anchorman 2, which was terrible? Caddyshack 2 was terrible.
Well, here's the thing, Curt. I have not seen this is this is Spinal Tap? Is that the first one?
Yes, this is Spinal Tap was from 1984.
So there have plans for a theatrical release this summer of the restored edition of the original.
In theaters too, which would be fun. You get to go to the theater.
So I could go see both. Oh, how exciting.
Maybe we'll have a date night, you and Pat, myself and Dana. We'll all go watch Spinal Tap. You guys will get frustrated because I'm going to be quoting every single quote from it and stuff. You say, shut up, man.
Don't do that.
All right. This is not just to help. I'm going to turn this up loud. This is to help people wake up, but it also applies to the story here, right? Why are we playing Reveille?
Yeah, what's going on? Tell me.
Flea, you've heard of the Red Hot Chili Peppers bass player Flea, correct?
Yeah.
He is currently working on a record, which is a trumpet record.
Okay.
And you wouldn't think that Flea, he's obviously a great bass player, jumping around, kind of a crazy guy. Apparently, he was a trumpeter and jazz aficionado during his childhood, and he is going to put out a whole record of trumpet music. So if you are a fan of either Flea and or trumpet music, you are going to be excited about this.
He was on Jane's Addiction's album?
He played trumpet actually on Nothing Shocking from Jane's Addiction. Yeah. So
no way. Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. Just a little tidbit there while we were talking about somewhat obscure musical things, somewhat obscure. And that's all I have on that.
Okay. I'm excited for our question of the day.
It is time for our question of the day.
I'm thinking about what my answer would be, Curt.
Well, what were we considering? You said we were considering, but we're not going to do the random things that everybody does but doesn't talk about.
Yeah, but this is a fun one. Okay. Your last in-store or online purchase is your gift to me. What am I receiving?
So that's just a way of saying what was the last online purchase that you made, but it's going to be a gift to Jen.
It's not like grocery store. Like we're not looking for grocery store, that kind of thing. It's like your last in-store or online purchase is your gift to me. I'm trying to think about what I've purchased.
Well, I can tell you what my gift to you is. It's a box cutter, a razor blade. That's what you're getting from me, because that was the last thing that I ordered.
I think the last thing I ordered was the little Pat really likes doppio shots of espresso. And so in Italy, they come in these little cute mugs.
Okay. So
I got him this set of little cute. They're not even that cute. They're just cute because they're little, but they're just plain black. I couldn't find super cute ones. So that's what you'd be getting. I gave him to Pat. I'd have to get him back and give him to you.
So you're getting him some dope. Dope, is it?
Doppio. A doppio, like it's 2 shot. Like I think it's a 2 shot, just shots of espresso that you drink straight.
Thanks for explaining that. I knew it wasn't really dope. So All right. Your last in-store online purchase is your gift to Jen. Let us know
No,
what you're
not
giving.
it's not to me. It could be to Curt too. It's just in general. Like what's your last purchase is what we're getting at.
But it is funny when you think about it from the angle of, okay, well, I'm going to have to give this to somebody. I'm kind of embarrassed about it. I don't know.
Yeah,
Let us know.
Be real. Don't go to your second purchase because your last one is embarrassing. That's what we're looking for. Like, what is it? What am I getting?
I think this is one where the lamer the better, right?
For sure.
Because a box cutter is not the greatest thing to give somebody. All right, we'll be talking about that tomorrow. Thank you for being here with us today. We always appreciate it.
Enjoy your Thursday. Make good choices. Find joy. Spread kindness and laugh. It's good for the
Laugh,
soul.
people.